Welcome to the Chop Shop. Today we're making tacos. Over here I have my taco meat seasoned with some taco seasoning. And over here some Spanish rice cooking. And of course with tacos you have to have salsa. So here I'm getting this all ready. We're going to be making some homemade fresh salsa. Here's my onions and my peppers. I'm going to get my tomatoes all ready, and then we're going to mix it all up.
I'd like to show that we are having some tacos before we make the new salsa. They're regular beef tacos, and I'm having some of these because this is kind of like a warm-up before we make the new salsa. Obviously I'm going to use the beans and the meat. I also can put some rice in the tacos, but I don't think I'm going to use rice in the tacos because that takes a lot of room away from the beef that I can put in it. This way I just go with some beans, some tacos, actually a little bit of rice on the side. And again, all this is before we do the salsa. Now we currently do have some salsa from our last salsa deposit that we put forward. So obviously here are some onions that have already been cut up for now. These are just warm-ups before we make the new salsa for today.
Alright, it's salsa time. Here I have some tomatoes sliced up, and they're going in the processor, and we are going to process these tomatoes. Alright, so we've got a good amount in there. Alright, so the tomatoes are in here, and you process them until they become almost kind of pureed. You want them to be real smooth. And I'm going to put them in here into our, I put a can of diced tomatoes in here. So those tomatoes will be added in with those tomatoes. Oopsie. Got to take out the bleed. Alright. So we're going to continue processing the tomatoes, those sliced tomatoes in here, until they're all done. Okay, our tomatoes are already processed, pureed, and added in here into the diced tomatoes. Now we're going to move on to our peppers. I have a few selections here of some banana peppers, some cherry peppers, some finger-long hot peppers, and of course some habaneros. So we're just going to dice these up real quick and add them to the processor. And we're just going to chop them up just a little bit, not too much. We want them to be a little bit thicker and textured in there. That looks good, and we're going to get this and chop them up in here. Take a look and see how it looks. Looks pretty good. add them into the tomatoes. Alright, so we're going to continue on with the rest of the peppers. Just make sure until they're all done, we're just going to chop them up, process them, and add them into the tomatoes here. Okay, we got our peppers all chopped up, added into the tomatoes. Give it a quick mix. And the next step would be the onions. So we're going to slice up the onion, add it into the processor. And quickly give the onion a chop. You don't want it to liquefy. Alright, we got the first thing of onions in there. And I'm going to quickly continue on with the onions because they're starting to affect me. Alrighty. Once again, quickly. Remember, you don't want them to liquefy, you want them to be chunky, so if they're thick, they're good. The reason we add onions to the salsa is not only to make our eyes burn and make us cry like this, but because they give the salsa a very good flavor. Okay, we got this. And the next step is some garlic. So we have some minced garlic here already. And we're going to add in about a good spoonful. Throw that in there. Mix this all up. And the last and final step of making fresh homemade salsa is to add your salsa seasonings, which can consist of anything that you would like. So we'll add that in, and you cover this up, refrigerate it for a couple hours. Overnight would be best so all the flavors mix together, and there you go. You have homemade fresh salsa. Thank you for watching the Chop Shop's Hot Salsa tonight.